Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in beautiful southeastern Massachusetts, in case you were wondering where we were. We're going to be doing the taroscopes for the sign of Gemini. That's Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising for the month of February 2024. And I'm going to be doing I'll look at the astrology first. I'm going to be doing a rune card pull. So we're going to get a rune for this month and also a crystal from the Crystal Ally cards. So, and then a card reading using the tarot. But before we do that, we're going to get into the astrology. Now, February is an interesting month in that I think it's when things really sort of take off in February. And the reason I say that is because January, we had Pluto move into Capricorn, out of Capricorn into Aquarius. But it started the year in Capricorn. That happened on the 20th, that shift. So that was a big shift. The Mercury was retrograde starting the year, but a couple of hours later it went direct. So we had a stationary Mercury in Sagittarius on the 1st, which was significant because Sagittarius rules air travel, and we had an air disaster, and we had a piece of the side of the plane come off. People were in the air, just going along their business, trying to get from point A to point B. And so there was a whole like group of planes that were grounded because of that. But then, so at that point, the only other planet that was moving retrograde was Uranus, and Uranus shifted towards the end of the month to go direct. So, and that's always a big shift anyway, Uranus. In fact, I'm doing this before that actually happens in the sky. And so with Uranus, you're never really sure of what's coming up or what it's going to be. So for me to say that, oh, when Uranus changes direction in January, I know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know I just know something's going to happen, right? So at this point, you probably know what happened. And that energy sort of like just potentiates itself. And as we roll into February and we have all these planets moving into Aquarius from Capricorn, we're definitely going to see, well, of course, the sun is already in Aquarius, but Mercury and Venus and Mars all have to move into Aquarius because they start the month in Capricorn. And you know what? Let me just pull it up. Instead of just talking to you nice, like we're talking at the kitchen table, let me show you a picture. I do have, what do you call it? Visual aids, so I might as well use them. Now, all I need to do is find where my visual aid might be. This looks like it might be it. All right. All right. All righty, dighty.
Yeah, recording.
Yes, I am.
Oh, are you?
I am right now. I'm recording. That's okay. My husband just walked in with, what is this? Pineapple. Is this the new stuff? Right? It smelled delicious. I knew it was going to be scrummy.
It's so good. I had to bring you some.
Fresh pineapple. Mm. Mm. Ooh, that's good. So sorry. You're not even looking at Gemini as I'm eating and talking to my husband. I was trying to find a button to pause, but I couldn't find it. So you heard the whole conversation. He must have cut it on a board that had a little garlic. I just got a little garlic flavor. Yum. All right. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Is this Gemini? Yes. Okay, we can get started now. Now everything can move forward. Okay. So we're looking at your sign, Gemini, And of course, Gemini, as you know, is an air sign. It's a mutable air sign, changeable. And anybody who knows a Gemini, and you know yourself, know that you have a capacity to go from one thing to the other, one thing to the other, right? The thing about Gemini is you sort of see both sides of everything. Um, and the symbol for Gemini, which could be a Roman numeral too, right? Reminds me of a portal, a doorway. And so Gemini sort of can give us a doorway to the perspectives on either side of an issue, right? And so that's the nature of Gemini. Your ruling planet is Mercury, and Mercury is a planet that wants to delineate things, wants to define things. And define means bring it down to its smallest constituents, right? Define, 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 define. And Mercury, as a planet of the nervous system, communication, and the like, helps us. We utilize Mercury, we utilize our mind to understand that energy of air, right? That energy of air. So, this is just a reminder that we're in an 8 vibration year. The Strength card is the card of the year in 2024. It is located on the Tree of Life, on the path that runs between the Sephiroth of Mars and the Sephiroth of Jupiter. And it is energetically located in our throat chakra. So this year is about speaking our truth. But the throat chakra is also the place where we find divine will. So that sort of creative power that we have within us, that is expressed through us and our physical body, is very much has something to say this year. And a lot of the year, I think for many of us, is going to be an ability to step aside, to allow our egos or our ideas about how things should be going, and to step aside from that and see what divine, how the divine will or the divine spirit, that's part of us. We're instruments, right? Make me an instrument of your peace. Was that the prayer of Saint Francis, right? So we are instruments of the divine, and we are divine within ourselves. So if we get out of our own way, then I think 2024 will be a year like no other, in the most positive sense that it can be, assuming that you want to push yourself in a positive direction. The energy is the energy. It doesn't care if you're positive or negative. It's your free will to do with it what you will. And of course, my vote is always for moving in the direction of the positive, right? Now, there are certain times when you have to go in a more a direction where you're cutting things away and making things, when you cut things away, you definitely like sort of putting lines in the sand. That has to happen too. But then there's also this creative surge that we're going to feel. And of course, the Strength card is associated with the sign of Leo, which is the sign in astrology of creative self-expression, right? And so for you, Gemini, we could look at your Leo house. We could say, oh, this is a year where the card associated with Leo is activated by the vibration of the year, and we look to your Leo in your chart as your third house, the house of minds, and of course, that's what Gemini is all about. Anyway, this is how far Mars goes this year, and we have 3 retrogrades. The majority of them are in fire. We have a fire in Sag, fire in Aries, and then fire in Leo, but a little bit of Virgo there too. So that's where the Mercury retrogrades are going. So most of the time this year, Mercury is going to be in the element of fire. So it's about inspiration, creativity. It's the fire energy. All right, let's just look at what's specifically happening for you in February. If you notice, there's a lot of energy at the top of this chart. This is because most of the energy is either going to be in Capricorn, which is your 8th house, Aquarius, which is your 9th, or Pisces up there in the 10th house. The biggest sort of bang for your buck aspects, if we could call them that, they're all in their way equal, but some seem to have more of an imprint into us in a way. That most of that stuff happens in your 9th house, where Aquarius sits. And when we go through the month, you'll see what I mean. We start on the 2nd with Mercury, your ruling planet, making a lovely sextile to Neptune. Sextiles are mental and communicative. They can have the energy either of Gemini or Aquarius. This one is considered an Aquarius side sextile. It's a waning sextile. So it brings in that Aquarian energy, the energy of knowing something, and the energy of humanitarianism, and that sort of inventive, out of the box energy of Aquarius. It's very progressive. It's a progressive sextile. And we need some progressivism for sure. In my country anyway, in America, I feel like the people are probably way more progressive than the actual politics. And the politics has to like realize that, wait a minute. This is, this is the new game in town. Mercury will make a waning sextile to Neptune on the 2nd. Mars makes a waning sextile to Neptune on the 7th, and Venus makes a waning sextile. Let me just see. Oh, on the 13th, right? So week 1, week 2, week 3, we have these sextiles to Neptune. Neptune is the energy of source, and Mercury is the mind, how we, of course, you being a Mercury rule sign, how the mind works. Mars is the actions that we take, and Venus is the values that we have. And so it's all being sort of fertilized by and being expressed through the energy of Neptune, which can be delusional, but can also be compassionate, loving, forgiveness, right? Healing. So if you choose to go the delusional path, it's available to you. But if you choose to go the healing path, then we know that there's a lot of help, from our higher vibrational selves, from a finer, more united sensibility. On the 5th, Mercury ingresses into Aquarius. Now, this is your ruling planet, and Aquarius is your 9th house here, okay? As we start the month, we have Pluto there already. So as soon as Mercury moves into Aquarius, it makes a conjunction to Pluto. So Pluto becomes the toll collector at the gates here. And your Mercury is moving from your 8th house, which is a scorpionic house. It's a house of deep transformation. And now it's moving into the house of the broad perspective, but Pluto's there. So it continues sort of like a plutonic little like foothill it has to climb before it can be let into the 9th house of the big picture. So there's a little bit something to pay, toll. The Mercury has to pay the toll. And what's the toll of Pluto in Aquarius? Well, Pluto is transformation, is change. And Aquarius can be paying attention to the group, or it can be, being a good team player, or working for the betterment of all, right? It's all of those things. On the 7th, Venus makes a waning trine to Uranus. Trines are easily flowing energy, right? And so we have Venus here in your 8th house. This is other people's money, okay? And then it's making a trine to Uranus here in the 12th house. This honestly, this combination of the 8th house, other people's money, hidden enemies, things we can't see. Now I know none of you are gonna have this issue because you people are all like kind of like chill, man. This is a spiritual thing for me. But there are some Geminis out there who could utilize this time to sneak some money from um less than savory characters for for their coffers or what they might need. Okay, so if you're reading what I'm laying down, there are certain Geminis there that might be getting resources from less than reliable or less than on the up and up sources. So just so you know, that could be happening. Um, eh, and we may not hear about it because it is kind of under the radar with that. I guess at some point we'll probably hear, maybe when Uranus and Venus square each other, then we may hear what actually happened. But that's not going to happen till March. Um, we also have Mars making that waning sextile to Neptune, which I talked about. On the 8th, the Sun makes a last quarter square to Uranus. This is unexpected, um, unexpected occurrences that bring freedom from old sort of constraints. So we'll see what that means. We don't always know. With Uranus, we can just assume that we're going to know something we didn't know before, or that there's something that's going to break the tension, and it's usually like in the form of a lightning bolt. So um, be careful out there on the 8th, especially if you're prone to lightning bolts. On the 9th of February, we have a new moon at 21 degrees of Aquarius. That is going to be your 9th house. This could be a time where you plan a trip, um, or talk to a publisher if you're somebody who writes. It's the house of publishing. It's the house of justice as well, the big picture, all the sort of Jupiterian, Sagittarian energy sits in that house. And you have Aquarius in that house when you're a Gemini. So your beliefs, your philosophies of life tend to be a little bit more open to a different thing than most people, right? Um, you're the most curious sign, if nothing else, nothing else, but many other things, of course, but the most curious sign of the zodiac. So if there's a shiny object, you're going for it. You're going to go see what it is. Okay. All right. So this begins the year of the wood dragon. And the wood dragon is a year of growth. The 8 year is a year of manifestation. So there's a lot of things that are sort of coming to fruition and developing and growing and manifesting this year. So be careful what you ask for because it's a powerful year of manifestation. All right, on the 10th of February, Mercury, your ruling planet, makes the last quarter square to Jupiter. Mercury is your reasoning mind. Jupiter is your intuitive mind. You're kind of at odds with yourself. Jupiter wins this contest always, actually. If it was a first quarter square, Mercury would probably win, but now it's about perspective. Now this part of the cycle is about perspective and the next steps and the best steps to take. And so, but there is some resistance. There is some resistance as always, with a square, but the resistance creates a necessary crisis that you have to deal with. And Mercury is in Aquarius, and of course Jupiter is in Taurus. So when you're looking at that, we're looking at ninth house again, ninth house, 12th house. A lot of a lot of interaction with the 12th house here, despite the fact that you have Uranus and Jupiter there, which is, enough, certainly. But you see there's a lot of energy here, but that energy is very much connected to the energy of this 11th house. On the 13th, Mars ingresses into Aquarius. On the same day, Venus makes that waning sextile to Neptune, just like Mercury and Mars did. But that Mars ingress into Aquarius is important. And on the next day, Mars meets the toll taker, that would be Pluto, starting a whole new synodic cycle between Mars and Pluto. An important combination, as Mars is the energy of our conscious desires, and Pluto is the energy of the unconscious desires of the world soul. And so when Mars and Pluto come together every 2 years, we are given a little bit more information about what desires we might have. And those desires are colored by the sign that Pluto and Mars are in, and they're in Aquarius now. So even our need to, our desires, the things we feel like we don't have that we want to move in the direction of, are in the direction of Aquarius. So it bodes well for people to be a little bit more group oriented and working together to forward something, right? To forward a point or whatever. All right. On the 16th, Venus ingresses into Aquarius. Mars and Venus are very close to each other. Mars is going forward, he's taking the lead on this one. Right? He first moves into Pluto, plays the toll taker, but now Venus moves into Aquarius, and the next day on the 17th, the toll taker, she meets up with Pluto. And Pluto and Venus have a very interesting, actually, no, it's not the next day. It's the 22nd. So it's actually quite a few days. Venus moves into, oh, no, I'm sorry. Venus into Aquarius. Next day, oh, I see what I'm seeing here. Okay, sorry, I got confused looking at my own notes. Excuse me. Venus ingress into Aquarius, then Venus on the next day. Yes, I was right. Conjuncts Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. They have a special relationship, Venus and Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld. Once a soul goes down there, it can't come back out. It's there. But it's the earth, right? It's the earth. And so once the earthly body sort of goes away, it's part of the earth. It can be reconstituted, but it's not exactly the same, right? And so he holds the our earthly life, right? The end of our earthly life. But as anybody who knows who's lost somebody, the way you feel about them, the love that you have for them doesn't diminish. In fact, oftentimes it increases because you miss them, right? And so even though Pluto's big bad Pluto, Venus as the planet of love is more powerful. So love transcends death, right? It transcends that sense of loss. And Pluto really isn't about the end. It's about the end and a new beginning. And so every time Pluto and Venus get together, she does in her nature would be a natural time of transformation. And she has to transform to get past Pluto, of course, which she will, because she always does. And Venus puts on her Aquarian outfit. She takes off that very smart business suit that she had on, or the most elegant of elegant attire that Capricorn would wear. And now she's sort of having fun with her crazy punky, maybe purple, maybe mohawk, maybe glasses with the thing over here, the tape holding the glasses together. Aquarius, be different. And also be very friendly. She's very friendly. Venus is very friendly in Aquarius. Okay. On the 18th, the sun ingresses into Pisces. And so we have the sun move over your MC here and move into the 10th house. Both the 9th house and the 10th house are the most public. So everything that's happening is happening really in the public eye anyway. There is a lot of energy in the house of justice. So for the ex-president, who's a Gemini, that's all of that, like Venus, Mercury, Mars going into that house. With Pluto there, that affects him, right, as well. But the sun in Pisces, it kind of softens things, right? It makes things a little bit less delineated, which you don't necessarily appreciate, but things can get a bit confusing. But there is a certain amount of a real sense of the end of um, the end of a period of time, the end of a year in a way, before we have that new energy of the moon the sun in Aries, which happens in March. So when the sun goes into Pisces, we're kind of in a little bit of a tween period, like between the worlds kind of energy, and you may be feeling that. And it can be very inspiring. It's a great time to be inspired. And if you happen to be a Gemini who does creative work in the outside world, this could be very, very powerful for you. The imagination is a powerful thing. Imagine well. On the 22nd, Venus conjoins Mars. This happens every 2 years. It's when the masculine and the feminine come together, so to speak. They're coming together at 7 degrees of Aquarius. The Sabian symbol is a child being born out of an egg. So it's about a new way, one that's not connected to the past, but a new way of relating to each other. A new vibrational frequency, we'll say. On the 23rd, Mercury follows the sun into Pisces. And that's when things really could get confusing for you, because Mercury is your ruling planet. And it does like delineation, and Pisces dissolves all boundaries. And so there's a boundarylessness. And so the best way to work with this energy, especially for you, Gemini, is to use your imagination. And it's a powerful tool. So we could even say that you definitely want to imagine good things. And when you get exposed to things that are like unsavory, or a story that you don't want to see happen, you can step away from it. But it's not just about avoiding what you don't want to see, but focusing on what you do want to see and taking actions in that direction. On the 24th, we have a full moon in the sign of Virgo. That full moon is happening in your 4th house of family. So this could be a time when you get together with your family. There can be illuminations around your family, or illuminations in how you were parented. There can come issues of mother-father here. Being a mother or a father, or having a mother and a father, that can come up through this axis. This is the axis of security. And so you might feel a little insecure with this full moon, mainly because, Virgo is such a is a sign that wants everything to work as efficiently as possible. Gemini is a sign that wants things delineated, and the ruler of both, and dispositor of that full moon in Virgo, and the ruler, your ruler in Gemini, is now Mercury in Pisces. So again, imagination is a powerful tool. Could be your worst enemy if you imagine the things, that, spending your time like focusing on the things that scare you is not going to be helpful for this. But there is a sense of unreality to this time period. And so I think you're gonna feel it, and some are gonna be Some are good. Your chances of you being uncomfortable with it, I think, is good. Unless you know how to work with your imagination and you can sort of not overlook the energy of Mercury, but utilize the energy of Mercury in the best way you can, considering it's in the most imaginative sign. On the day of the full moon, we also have Venus make a last quarter square to Jupiter. Venus here now in Aquarius, right off of her date with Mars. And then, of course, 3 days later, Mars makes a last quarter square to Jupiter. So we have Venus make that last quarter square, sort of bringing up the issue, the relationship issue, perhaps, or the money issue, or the let's be generous issue, and then we have Mars backing it up a couple of days later, and then taking the action. Although you can overshoot with this and you can be too optimistic with Mars square Pluto, Mars square Jupiter. So just try to restrain yourself a little bit, because you could overpromise, overspend, and overdo and hurt yourself. So you don't want to do that. February 28th, which would normally be the last day, but we're in a leap year this year, so we have a 29th, and there's something happening on the 29th, actually. But let's talk about what's happening on the 28th first, because it's pretty important. We have 3 conjunctions in one day. They all occur at 10 degrees of Pisces. And we first have the Sun make a superior conjunction to Mercury. That means we're here on Earth, the Sun is here, and Mercury's on the other side of the Sun. So it's really as far away from the Earth as it can be, being on the other side of the Sun. So it is an energy of even though it's a conjunction, it's an energy of perspective. It's a thou and I, right? When Mercury is retrograde, and in an inferior conjunction, then it's closer to the Earth, and so the sounds that are louder. Everything is, and you really kind of have to pay attention to what's to listening when it's retrograde. And what do you listen through? You listen through the filters that were within you, right? And so, but this is not that type of conjunction. It's more of a observational conjunction, if there's such a thing. And then Mercury comes and moves along and conjoins Saturn, and then the Sun follows suit, conjoining Saturn. So we have a triple conjunction of the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. And of course, Saturn is a very serious energy. And so this is a serious time, right? This is going to be a serious time. It's happening in your house of career. So this is a serious point in your career, sort of like a reset in a way. And the Sabian symbol for this particular degree is okay, I'm not going to do it. Every time I try to say it, I mess it up. So I'll just say it. An aviator pursues his journey, flying through the ground obscuring clouds. Man's ability to develop powers and skills, which by transcending natural limitations allow him to operate in the mental and spiritual realms. This is an energy of mastery. Man is seen mastering difficulties implied in a type of operation, transcending his organic limitations and the narrow boundaries of a localized living space. He does so as an individual in command of powerful energies, but also as heir to the industry of countless innovators and managers. So this is a time of really concentrating to go beyond just your 5 senses, and so utilizing your intuition, creatively visualizing, all of that is being seated at this time. And so again, I've been saying this for a while now, focus on what it is you want to bring into your life. On February 29th, the last day of February, really, we have Mercury making a sextile to Jupiter. Remember, Mercury and Jupiter were sort of at odds there for a while on the, what was that, the 10th? By the end of the month, the 29th, they're talking to each other again. And they're like, you're a genius. No, you're a genius. Oh my God, I love you. Oh, you know, so we have this sextile where they get together and they really agree on the direction of the future. So, the future is a little bit unknown when we start, but by the time we end, there's a little bit more direction, and perhaps you'll know a little bit more of what you truly want um, to focus on. All right. All right, let's get out of this. Okay. All right. So a rune card, rune, R-U-N-E, not R-U-I-N. That would be terrible. Right. Okay. Ah, Gebo. Gebo. This is a partnership rune. Give and take, I believe it's called. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Partnership. I just had to find the page, sorry. Says, drawing this rune is an indication that partnership in some form is at hand. In love relationships, in business matters, in partnering of every kind, you are put on notice not to collapse yourself into that union, for true partnership is achieved only by separate and whole beings who retain their separateness even as they unite. Remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you. It is an energy of giving and taking. And so this is a time of partnering up. Interesting. All right, let's see what card we get. Garnet, prosperity. Well, we know the ex-president is probably getting some money this month. But it is a prosperous time, and you actually might get your prosperity through a partnership. Now, let me read what the crystal ally says about garnet. It is considered an earth element stone. I know that. I love garnet. I have it on my new moon and Capricorn altar. Okay, did I pass it already? No. Okay, hold on. Prosperity. Chakras are the earth heart, or the earth star, as we call it, and the Muladhara, the root chakra. And it says, this is your affirmation. I receive abundance through all channels of the universe. It says, when garnet appears, it is a reminding you to open your eyes to the bounty and prosperity that the universe is offering you right now. The earth is a perfect vehicle for providing you with all that you could need to survive and thrive in physical form. Ask for what you need and acknowledge that this is something even better, that this or something even better will be given to you. Right? Don't limit the universe in its willingness to bring abundance and prosperity and partnership into your life. Wow, that's cool. All right, let's move those out of the way, and we're going to do a reading using the Light Seers Tarot, which I just happen to have right here. I have the smallest Light Seers Tarot I think that they make. When I ordered it, I just, I put, oh, Light Seers, let me see, how can I get that? I ordered it, and I don't think I actually ordered it from like Hay House, because I think they actually do this. This might be like a Chinese company of some sort, but I didn't know. I just wanted I just wanted them. So I apologize, Hay House, if these aren't your cards. I will eventually get a real set. I love these cards. They find them so young at heart. They're young. They're just young cards. Like young people understand these cards. The images, anyway, really resonates. I'm thinking of the Hierophant card where the guy's just like kicking back and laughing his head off, as if people know what the right thing to do is. The universe knows. The universe knows. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oops. They're very slippery, I'll tell you that. Okay, so he's starting with the Eight of Swords. This can be fear, feeling like you're tied up. You can see that she is actually not tied up. You see, in this one, she doesn't have anything around her hands, but in the reflection, she's all tied up. She can't see where she's going. All these crows are around her. So this can be mental constraint, mental confusion, feeling like you can't move forward. Your mind is telling you that I can't go forward. I can't go forward. Let's see what is crossing that. Nostalgia. The past is what's preventing you from moving forward. That's what these cards say. And I think that that's true of the ex-president as well. Like he can't let go of this because he keeps remembering like what it felt like to win or something. But in this case for you, um, it's an inability to let go of the past. So you definitely want to, well, let's see what else comes up. It's time for you to make a choice. And it's hard for you to make a choice because you don't want to make the wrong choice. You've made the wrong choice before, and you're like, I don't want to do that again. So perhaps you're afraid of making a choice because in the past you feel like you didn't make a good choice. Of course, every choice we make is the choice that we make, and we live and sometimes die by the choices that we make, right? But in every choice is a lesson. And the lesson isn't necessarily, oh my God, I can't believe I made that stupid choice. Is to learn from the reason that you made the choice and then learn from what that choice wrought for you, right? In the past, we have some Nine of Pentacles, so there's a sense of prosperity here, that you're sort of a self-made person. Um, in the past, you're in your garden of earthly delights, right? The garden of earthly delights, and this one has looks like a cockatoo. Oh, it looks like an African gray. That's an African gray parrot up there. Yeah. So, living your best life with your parrot. In the sky, we have the Emperor. This is about dominion. It's an Aries card. It's about being in charge. Yeah. So it's the energy is there for you. And Spirit is saying this is available to you. Ah, justice. Okay, I'm sorry, I do this to you guys I really should not do this to you, but I have to say it. Justice coming up in the card, the immediate future position, which is pretty much the card of the month, is justice. So there will be a balancing of the scales. I'm happy to see that for you guys because I think that that's a good thing for most people, unless you haven't been well intentioned, and then you're in trouble. So justice is coming. How it's seen from the outside, very creative. They see you as very creative, fun, joyful, magical, magical. The Queen of Cups is magic. The Queen of Fire, sorry, Wands is magic. The Queen of Cups is magic. Different kind of magic. domestic situation. You're thinking about your next steps. You want to kind of figure out where you want to go in the world. So this is planning stage. You're getting a perspective, looking out, and maybe even dreaming of the future. Ooh, I want to go here, I want to do that, I want to do this, right? That kind of thing. Hopes and fears, the Queen of Cups. I think you don't want to do it alone. I think you would like to have somebody you could share the experience with. And according to the Rune card, I think you're going to have somebody to share the experience with. And then we have the Chariot as the outcome. So this is being on your path. This is things are flying pretty fast for you. So things are coming fast and furious for you. You're on your path. The Chariot is often seen as a victory card. Underneath it all, we have the King of Cups, which is a nurturing sort of father energy. We have the Five of Cups, which is sorrow. So there are things that you are mourning. And the Four of Pentacles, which is about stability, more financial stability. So what I would say is I wouldn't worry about outcomes or choices right now, because what is about to happen for you, Gemini, is been written in the stars. It's fated. This is a fated time for you. Justice will come and you will be on your way and on your journey to the next thing, whatever that is. And maybe by the end of February, we'll have a little better idea of it. It's not like, yeah, you just don't, I think what it is you don't want to make the wrong decision, but I'm not sure there are wrong decisions. I think there are better decisions than others, but everybody's journey is their own. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you know somebody who might find this reading of value, share it with them. Give me a thumbs up. That's helpful. Keeps me in your feed or the algorithm or whatever the heck that thing is. I am teaching a beginner's astrology class. I have two options. I have a Monday evening class. It's the same class. It's just that I'm giving two options to be part of the class. I have a Monday evening class, 7 to 9. That's starting on the 5th of February. And then a Saturday class, which will go from noon to 2 Eastern. That starts on the 3rd. Both those classes are 6 weeks done on consecutive, whatever day it is, Monday or Saturday, whichever class that you choose. And this energy, this class is a really good class for, sorry, my mind went someplace else for a second. Gotta reel it back in. Well, you're a Gemini, you understand, right? It's a real good foundational class. When I took astrology, I was mostly self-taught and got teachers later in my career. But I think a good course that helps you understand not just what things are called, but why and the energy behind it. It's a good class, and I love teaching it. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. So if you'd like to join us, there are spaces available for that. I also have a beginner introduction to the Kabbalah. That's actually starting on the 18th of January. I don't know if you'll hear of this before then. But I do that class at least twice a year. The beginning of the year, which I'm doing it now, and then also towards the end of the year, maybe around the late summer, early fall. I'll do it again. So there'll be other opportunities to explore the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah with me. But that's what's going on, folks. Have yourself a great month, and I'll see you again next month. Namaste, everyone.